I don't know. It's those rays of light. I keep moving them and they keep coming back. And this one now is like right over my face, right smack in the middle. Maybe I can move over. I mean, come on. If you can't beat them, join them, right? Okay, let's see if we can turn this way. I'll move my chair. Okay, we can do this. We can make this happen. Oh, look, I have a ponytail today. I know, it's crazy, right? It's getting so long and it's so much fun. Good morning, Ginny. Mm-mm. You are not in the waiting room because I see you right here. Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. I'm excited. There's no tennis for me today, but I will be with one of my tennis partners. I'll be with William. We're going on a road trip today. Yep. We're going on a road trip once again. Some of you were here when we went on the last one a couple of months ago. We are in Palm Desert area, Palm Springs area, California. But there is a restaurant. It's kind of a fast food barbecue place. They started out in Texas, as far as I know. That's where I had it the first time. My daughter introduced me to Rudy's Barbecue. It's awesome. And when my friend William goes to visit his mother in Texas, he always stops and gets Rudy's and brings some home. And we love it. And he discovered that they had a Rudy's in Arizona, which is the state next to us. So we decided to take a road trip. It's just, like a little 4-hour ride to go for lunch. So we drove to Arizona for lunch and brought back a ton of barbecue for everybody. And we ate it all. So it's time to go back again. So that's what we're doing. Today we're going to take a road trip. He'll pick me up at 8. We'll be there for lunch. We'll have lunch at Rudy's, buy a whole bunch of barbecue to bring back. And voila, we've made our road trip. And it seems kind of crazy. I get that. So I thought I would share a little Buddha wisdom with you to kind of offset the insanity of what we're doing. Actually, I'm going to hold off on that because it goes really well with today's word art. And I want to share that with you too. Yep. Barbecue road trip. Good morning, Opa. So, Fritzy's doing great. The chicks are just flourishing. They're actually, if truth be told, I think they're really enjoying having more space in the coop because Frisco took up so much room in that chicken coop. It was ridiculous. I'm just hoping that they're going to become friends with Bob so we can have all the chickens together and they can roam because they have this big space to roam in. I would love them to roam. Yes, I would. Stephen, you're here this morning. No, not boots and wisdom. Buddha wisdom. I have this great little book that's got some Buddha wisdom and some parables. And I have a parable that kind of fits with today's word art that I know Stephen Stephen got that this morning. I saw your comment this morning, Stephen. So good morning to you and good morning to Ginny. Good morning, my friends. Thank you for being here for breakfast with me. Well, for coffee anyway. Do you have breakfast while we're talking? Seriously, we don't talk about coffee enough, but man, it's good in the morning, isn't it? Okay. It is World Plant a Vegetable Garden Day. It's a little hot here in the desert to plant vegetables. I don't know how they would fare, but man, I would love to try that. I know you guys are all in places where you can have wonderful vegetable gardens. I'm not sure about here, but we keep talking about it. Coffee is breakfast. It is for a lot of us, isn't it? Okay, so plant something today. Even if you can't plant a vegetable garden, if you're like me and you live in a hot climate or in a really, really cold climate, but in a climate that's not conducive to growing vegetables, you can always grow them indoors, My daughter taught me that when you have a lettuce, if you keep the very end of it, that part you usually throw away, the core, and stick it in water, you can grow a whole new lettuce. We did that for a long time. We were growing our own lettuce and having fresh salad every day with our fresh eggs. Ugh. You have a big veggie garden. I'm a little jealous. Ginny, it's 50 degrees and you're in Southern California. Geez, that's cold. Yeah. Planting your butt on the couch later. Opie, you'd crack me up. Totally crack me up. Well, that's planting. I said planting something. Ginny, you're going with that, huh? Okay, well, I'm planting myself in the seat of a big red Cadillac and driving to Arizona. That's what I'm doing. What else is today? Oh, this is so cool. Today is May Ray Day. May Ray Day. So I looked it up because I wasn't sure exactly what that meant. And I was sort of right because it has something to do with enjoying the rays of the sun, not the rays of the lights on your head, but the rays of the sun. You can come out to my house. We got tons and tons of sun out here. And where I'm going, I'm sure they have just as much sun. It's still desert. So you want to get out and you want to get some rays today. But somebody else said that if your name is Ray or Ray, R-A-Y, R-A-Y-E, R-A-E, whatever your name is, if your name is Ray, great, this is your day. It's May Ray Day. But if your name is not Ray, instead of calling people, hey, you, call him Ray. So call everybody Ray today. It's May Ray Day. So it's, hey, Ray, what's happening? Hey, Ray, what's happening? Call yourself Ray. Yo, I'm Ray. Like that. Okay? Be Ray today. Ray Day. Not May Day. May Day. Okay, May Ray Day. Yeah, May Ray Day. Do that. I mean, it's kind of fun to think about that, isn't it? Calling everybody Ray. Hey, Ray. How's it going? Malcolm X's birthday. Have you ever read any of his stuff? Maybe you should. It's kind of interesting. Also, Ho Chi Minh's birthday. Do you know who Ho Chi Minh was? I always think of the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and I thought, maybe he was a naturalist who invented trails. No, Ho Chi Minh was the first president of Vietnam. Talk about a country that's had a lot of problems, huh? Yeah. Oof. Yeah, a lot of problems. Okay, let's not talk about Ho Chi Minh. Let's talk about instead that in 1884, the Ringling Brothers opened a little small circus in Bearaloo, Wisconsin. And look what happened to them. Bam! 1984. For over 100 years, their circus flourished. It's gone now. They just closed them down like in the last year or two. But up until then, who didn't wait for the circus to come to town? I mean, circus is awesome, right? So I don't know if I've ever shared any of this with you, but years ago, when I was a single mom, and I wish I could remember how I got the job. I don't recall. I was a single mom, and I went to work for a small circus called Funza Poppin' Circus in Southern California. I worked for the circus. I joined the circus. They had acrobats and high trapeze, and I seem to remember there was a baby elephant that they used to bring. Funza Poppin' Circus, and it was Betty Spaghetti was the owner, and she was just a delight to work for. So what I used to do was I used to go to schools and churches and synagogues, and I would book the circus at a fundraiser. It was what they called a pocket circus. They could do it in a parking lot. They could do it in a park, in a field. They would bring the circus to you and set it up. And sometimes they would set it up and, do it for a whole city, and it would be a big deal. So my job was to book the circus. That was really fun. But on circus day, my job was to sell the popcorn. But I didn't just sell the popcorn. It was my personal concession because they wanted me, a single mom, to be able to make some extra money. Now, mind you, my kids are in their 40s now. So this is somewhere around 40 years ago. So the laws were different than they are now. I used to pop the popcorn at home on my stove. As each pot was made, I would pour it into a fully scrubbed, very clean bathtub. Bam. Keep filling up the bathtub until we had an entire bathtub of popcorn. Can you imagine how good my house smelled? And my kids were just in heaven. And then I would bring out these little bags that I decorated, and I'd give each kid a scoop, and they would scoop the popcorn into the bags. I would staple them shut, and then I would take all these bags to the circus, and that's how I made my extra spending money. I would sell popcorn at the circus. In the meantime, my two little kids were in heaven because they got to go into all the tents and be with the clowns and the acrobats. Oh, man, that was some happy times. Yep, Fun's a Poppin' Circus. I don't think it exists anymore. Baraboo, not Baraloo. Did I write it down? How do you know these things? I have down Baraboo. Oh, did I say Baraloo? I wrote down Baraboo. Sorry. Said it wrong, wrote it right. Oh, and no, that's not why I eat popcorn every day. Just coincidentally, I happen to hook up with a guy who likes popcorn as much as I do. Isn't that funny? And here, I don't make any popcorn at all. It's his job to make popcorn every day. I don't do that. I don't. No, I just eat it. Every day. Popcorn, popcorn, popcorn. Love popcorn. So that was my circus life. Yes, I ran away and joined the circus and took my children with me. It was so much fun. Oh, Betty Spaghetti, I miss you. Now I'm thinking about her. She was so awesome. What a great lady. Okay, what else? Oh, in 2018, Prince Harry and what's her name? Meghan Markle got married. That was pretty exciting. I mean, come on, you have to admit it was unusual. Was turned out to be just as unusual as we thought it was going to be. But I mention this because shortly after they got married, I got curious to see what kind of an actress Meghan Markle was. So I Googled movies with Meghan Markle. I did. And I found the first movie that came up that was starring Meghan Markle. And I brought it up on, I think I went to Netflix or something and typed it in and brought it up. And her co-star in that movie was one of my son's ex-girlfriends. It was so insane. So I'm watching Meghan Markle, who was not a bad actress, by the way, and my son's ex-girlfriend, who was not a bad actress, by the way, be in a really crummy movie. But I watched the whole thing because there's Megan and there's Deja, and I'm watching the whole movie. It was really fun. So I don't know about you guys, but because I live in Southern California and over the years, I've known quite a few actors and actresses. It's really fun when you're in the middle of a movie or you turn on a movie and there's someone you know, or you turn on a TV show. And my girlfriend, Lori, Lolo, I can't tell you how many times I've turned on the TV and there's my best friend from high school. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. In 1536, Anne Boleyn was beheaded. Remember, I told you it was for adultery and incest. Woo! And that reminds me that, oh yeah, I'm rewatching Game of Thrones. We've only watched 2 episodes, and I swear to you, in the first 2 episodes, you get just about everything. Yeah, the rest is just details and blood and gore, I think. Oh, yes. I'm going to go back to this for a minute. Ginny says, or if you see your neighborhood in a movie. Yeah, when you live in Southern California, they're always filming everywhere. One of my closest friends now who I play tennis with, she has a company that does locations for movies and commercials and stuff like that. I got to tell you, it cracks me up when I'm watching a movie and it's like, wait a minute, that's my high school. Wait a minute, that's my doctor's office. It's like, yeah, I think I may have mentioned that Beverly Hills 90210, the high school they went to, was where my children actually went to high school. Yeah. That high school, Beverly Hills High, or whatever they called it in the show, was actually Torrance High School. And the kids got to be extras now and then, and it made some good extra money for the school. So that was pretty great. Never seen Game of Thrones. Well, if you don't want to get a little bit of a stomach ache, you might not want to start because it's pretty gory. No, it's not pretty gory. It's very gory. Very gory. Oh, Ginny says her old house was in a movie with Morgan Freeman. Opa says no worries for her because in her cow town, nobody's ever even been in a video. Okay. Let's move on. 1994, we lost Jackie Onassis. Jackie Onassis. She had the airiest voice, didn't she? She was proper and beautiful. Yeah. Did I tell you that my brother's father-in-law, who unfortunately also has passed away now, Dr. Sheldon Siegel, literally world-renowned allergist, pediatric allergist primarily, I guess. He used to be called and be flown to Hyannisport to treat the Kennedy kids. Who knew? I didn't find that out about him until just, after I'd known him for 20 years. I know. Isn't that bizarre? Yeah. She was a classy lady. Didn't you love her little hats? Oh, like in let's see. Must have been like 1963, 2, whatever it was. I was a freshman in high school, and I went to this party with Bruce from across the street. He was so cool. He's from the South, and he just moved into the neighborhood, and he was a year older than I was, and he was the most handsome boy I'd ever seen. And he and I went to a Halloween costume party as Jackie and John Kennedy. We had masks, and I wore, a dress like hers and a little pillbox hat. Yeah, I was Jacqueline Kennedy once. Anybody can be Jacqueline Kennedy. But I wasn't Jackie Onassis because she was still Jackie Kennedy at the time. Happy birthday to Pete Townsend from The Who. I think I've probably told you 1,000 times that I got to see The Who at Old Cella, as we called it, that amazing concert where I paid over $1,000 for a ticket. I know it sounds crazy, but it was 3 days of concerts, and it was every group I had ever wanted to see in my life, basically. I mean, it was the Rolling Stones, and it was The Who, and it was, oh, I don't know. I don't have to name them all now, do I? I have the paper up from it somewhere. I saved the ad from it and my ticket and stuff because it was so amazing. But yeah, The Who played there, and they were phenomenal. And I know I've told you that I mentioned my actress friend Lori. Well, she was in My Fair Lady at the Hollywood Bowl, and she was acting with Roger Daltrey, who was also in the show, and we got to go backstage, and my husband, who loved The Who, got to go backstage also, and he spent like 45 minutes in Roger Daltrey's dressing room with him. I don't know what they were doing, for crying out loud. We had the best music ever, 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 ever. Does every generation say that? I don't know if they really can, but wow. 60s, 70s music just makes me happy, truly. And by the way, speaking of Pete Townsend and The Who, remember they did Tommy, the rock opera Tommy, and what was that about? It was about Pinball Wizard. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I can't mention it too many times. Indy, our Indy, I have a picture over here. Hang on, hang on, hang on. It's over here. Hang on. Right over here. Indy actually was pinball wizard. Huh? This is Indy back in the day. That's his trophy for being the pinball wizard. And he got like won a trip and all kinds of things because, hey, the guy could play those machines. He was a pinball wizard. 1974. It seems like longer ago than that, but it was just 1974. Oh, that is a long time ago, 74. It is a while back. Okay, I get it. It's almost 50 years ago. The Rubik's Cube was invented, and it was invented by a guy named, you guessed it, Rubik's. And Rubik was a sculptor, and he was a professor of architecture. And somehow he came up with that crazy Rubik's Cube. Can you do it? I don't know how. That's all. What song do you have stuck in your head? Pinball Wizard? Don't you love, what do they call them? Earworms? When somebody starts humming a little song and you can't get it out you. Okay, but for me, here's the best thing about today. 1958, the soundtrack of South Pacific hit #1 on the charts and stayed there for 31 weeks. Yeah. No wonder I know every single song, every word from every song in South Pacific. Yeah. You want me to do one? 101 pounds of fun. That's my little honey bun. Get a load of honey bun tonight. A boom, ba boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's all you get. Maybe that'll help you get Pinball Wizard out of your head, but I doubt it. Okay, word art. What is the word art for today? Well, let me read a parable for you first. It's called Good, Bad, Maybe. There was once a farmer whose horse galloped away. His concerned neighbor clucked his tongue. Poor you, what bad luck. The farmer calmly replied, who knows if it's bad or good? A whole herd of horses appeared the next day with the farmer's horse in the lead. And the neighbor beamed, oh, how good! Congratulations! And the farmer calmly said, who knows, good or bad? The next week, the son of the farmer broke his leg terribly while riding one of the new horses. Oh dear, bad luck now, the neighbor shook his head. And the farmer responded, who knows what is good and what is bad? Then the army came through, forcing young men to enlist. And when they saw the boy's broken leg, they left him on the farm and marched on to war. The neighbor was back with more congratulations about the good news. And the sage farmer again said, who knows what is good and what is bad? Yeah. So today's word art is just a who knows. What if the way it is exactly the way it needs to be in order to get to the next place you're going? Look, I know it doesn't always feel familiar or comfortable or even good, but be calm like that farmer, because this may be exactly the way it has to be in order to get to where you're going. Believe that. Stay calm. And have a sip and a smile. And wish me a safe and happy road trip. Love you guys. I will be eating barbecue in just 5 or 6 hours. See ya. Whoops.